completely detach themselves from any worldly possessions as the priests. Hence, he was warned, no more, but be vague, and not explain the whole reward included in the words of happy nation. Lacan.
Very nice. So we're going to have a workshop question here. Just remember in the workshop, let's keep it concise. Try to limit it under 30 seconds. Have an established order. There's no right answers. Just see the merits and the friends and try to connect. So why is it so that we find difficulty in general to connect with another, especially someone that is not family or a close friend, as those relationships develop over time? So once again, why is it so that we find it difficult in general to connect with another, especially someone that is not a family or close friend, as those relationships developed over time?
Okay,
What was that speaking order you were speaking about?
I'll go. Connection is always difficult for us. It's not in our nature, and it's something that we need to constantly work at.
Why is it difficult to connect? Because we have never let people inside our real shell. We have a shell around us that has been established, even when we meet other people nowadays. Unless we've grown up with them, they're not part of that shell.
When in general, we're not trying to connect with people. We're wired to use people to our needs or what we see we want from them, and so this is completely opposite of our nature, and so it's incredibly difficult.
Exactly. It's this is against our nature altogether. We have no interest in it, although we think we do, and this is where we pull out the deficiencies in order to change.
Yeah, because of that illusion of us being separate that we have since the shattering, our perception and our ego keeps us from connecting. It'll find some of the most insidious and tricky ways to convince us not to connect with each other. Why? Because it wants to survive as a separate entity.
Yeah, we don't have the interest, and we do find ways that our ego tries to reject it. But by joining the group, we get this common desire, and that common desire helps us to break away from that and try to learn a new way. Okay. Can't hear you, brother. You're not muted, but I don't hear you.
All right, I'll go, Dave. Yeah, I've heard it called Satan, the ego, the great adversary, all these things that make us want to go brush our teeth rather than be in class, do anything rather than connect to friends. But it's just an illusion, like most of it. You have to actually put your mind to it. And when your mind's to it, you realize it's all in your head and you just proceed. Johnny?
David, do you want to go?
Sure. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Yeah, I was listening to you guys and I was just thinking, you know, I assume people are like me in that I want to control things, you know. It's my nature is when I meet someone, I don't want to have a dialogue. I want to have a monologue. I want to get something out of that person. And so I assume they're thinking the same way. So really that's not a connection. That's just like a two-way assault. So next.
we have also been taught in our society or not to speak to strangers. So that adds even more difficulty not to connect or communicate with people on a general basis.
I have not much more to say about this other than this has to be intentional between us. It won't just fall in like good old buddies or your brother or sister or your mother. It won't. It's not going to be friends of friends. We have to decide to say, this is who I'm going to connect with. You guys, each. Next.
Yeah, Meryl, and that is only by knowing ourselves and seeing the others is great.
Yeah, this is again kind of what everyone else is already saying is this is something that we don't want to do, but through the connection is where we actually make the connection with the Creator. We all think we want that. Our body's arguing against us, and we have to keep practicing, and eventually we'll get it.
Yeah, the practicing really does help, Tim, and trying to separate what it is that we're here for, because we could connect over talking about things in our lives that have nothing to do with the goal and the path. And that's where the confusion comes sometimes for a long time for me is, yeah, I'm connecting really strong. Now let me tell them about my personal stuff. I think I wreck the connection with the group when I do that, because we have to agree what we're here for and stick with that. And we can't, even though we want to be really close, we can't be close like we would with a friend or relative or our psychotherapist. So it's hard because you have to really like just bring what's going to be on topic and help the friends.
Yeah, Adam, exactly. It's when we aim for the goal, that's when the connection is the strongest. When we start talking about other topics, that's when it goes back to the corporeal and our egos kind of join in. So focused on the goal is when you'll find this amazing connection. David.
Yeah, and even if you're talking to someone who doesn't necessarily have the same goal, something in common certainly makes it easier. And hopefully that is the goal.
I agree with you in some ways, but I think there's a lot of allegory in stories we tell each other about ourselves. Not from an egoistic point, but life experiences usually are pretty similar to others. Next.
And it's the structure and the mythology that we are here in the study within Kabbalah, that our sages or our past teachers have left for us. And that's what, and it's this exact specific connection that we need to obtain as a frequency in order to reveal the Creator amongst us and how to learn how to pray correctly. So we are being taught very, very concisely and with very good understanding of how to really do it.
Thank you, friends, for an amazing preparation. Hopefully that really set the tone for us and really prepared us for a lesson today. Good to see everyone today. I missed you guys in the last couple of weeks. How did it go with Albert? You're nodding your heads. It's good, right? Isn't he awesome? All right. Hopefully we'll get to experience more Albert and more Gianni and go through this process together, and you get a good, rich experience from feeling all these friends. There's a couple things we want to talk about today. We want to basically continue what you talked about with Albert last week about the states that we go through, the ascents and descents. We want to dive a little deeper into that and really talk about how we handle it, how we in Kabbalah are practically dealing with this. And so we'll revisit an article that we read before called, what is it, What to Expect, I think? I believe it's What to Expect from, we'll get to it. I think it's What to Expect from, Sarah, do you have it in front of you? No. I don't have it in front of me for some reason. What to Demand from an Assembly of Friends. That's right. That's the one. We did it in lesson 6. We read it, but we're going to read it from a complete different point of view today. We're going to be looking at it from a new state, and that will just be part of what we do here. I'm going to mute Kathy since she probably is having problems with the phone there. Okay, so just off the bat, let's do something, okay? We're a small group today, so let's do it right here in this room. First action. We need to strengthen the connection and love between us and all that. So let's go in turn here, and each of you will say out loud how much, just tell the friends how much you love them and how important they are to you. Okay? I'll call out your names and you just go, okay? So it's a pretty simple exercise, right? Merle.
I love all you guys in the group because of the strong feeling this work is starting. It's like it's coming alive, and it's because of all you guys. I love to strengthen that connection. Next,
Mike.
Yeah, and I love all of you because I'm seeing the importance of the goal through you, and feeling motivation from seeing you here and together in our meetings, and the connection that we're making.
Adam.
I love you for studying this method together with me, but I also love you because I'm so full of self-love, and I see you all as pieces of myself.
Brian?
I love you because you help me through my everyday, whether it's a good day, whether it's a bad day. If I think of the friends, it brings me closer to the Creator, and it lifts my spirits.
Carlotta?
I love you because you give me strength when you share your experience, and when we speak about that Creator and how you feel towards that Creator. It makes me wake up my heart when I listen to you, and I love you all.
David?
Yeah, I just want to share a secret with you guys. Of all the people I've met on planet Earth, this group right here, right now, is certainly my favorite. Each and every one of you, because we have the same goal, and our equivalence of form is so exact. And I love you all. Thank you.
Emuna.
Yes, I agree totally with David. You are so special to me, and I love you because there's nobody else that I'm going along this path that has the same desire, or similar desire that I have, to reach the Creator, and that we cannot reach it because we cannot reach the Creator by ourselves, that we need each other, that we are one. And so you are me, I'm you, and I love you, and I missed you the last 2 weeks.
Katya.
I love you, and I treasure you, each and every one, for the force, the life-giving force that's in you, the example, the profound, endless inspiration that I'm always feeling from you. You are what makes life worth living. You really give meaning to life.
Cora? Is it iPhone Cora? Yeah. Should I try to unmute you?
If you said iPhone caller, I think that is me.
Okay, Kathy.
Perella, yeah. I love you all because I'm learning from you each day, it seems, and I'm beginning to get a deeper glimpse of the Creator, and I really love you for that.
Can we get, is it iPhone Cora? I'll try to unmute you and see if you can do it.
Hello.
Yes.
I love you all for your unconditional love and your continued love. And I appreciate every one of you.
James?
I love each and every one of you. We're all here together for a reason. We've all had a yearning in our hearts and our minds to come to this place. And for that, we all have a similar background in searching for something larger in ourselves to share with others. And once we share it properly, we'll find miracles abounding everywhere. Next.
Johnny.
So I have such gratitude because in front of me is the Creator, and I'm being taught how to actually really bestow and what to bestow and love is. So you guys are presenting a beautiful opportunity for me to be able to have this exposure and this connection with the Creator.
Leonardo.
Sorry, what was the question? I'm just entering.
Tell everyone how much you love them and why.
Okay, I love you all you because your desire to grow spirituality and to be a better person each day, and I think is the most important thing in a human being, to try to grow spirituality and to try to be a better man each day. And for this desire of all of you is why I love you so much.
Linda.
I love you all because you helped me to lose my egoism and to help me to gain adhesion with the Creator. Next.
Mike, did we do you yet? Okay, so Sarah.
Well, I don't know how to tell you how much I love you because I don't know myself. Love for me comes and goes. It's like the heart. It beats, it throbs, you know, in and out, contraction and release. And the reason that I have this love for you is because of your gentleness, your tenderness, the vulnerability that you show, that I know from my own experience makes that point in your heart so strong. And this is why I love you so much.
Tim?
I love you because you've showed me what the goal is, and by showing me how important it is to you is what keeps me pushing down the path.
Did we get everyone? Yes.
What about Katya?
Did I miss you, Katya? I don't think so.
No, I spoke.
Yeah. She's even showing up twice. That's how much she loves you. How did that feel, by the way? What do you guys think? Someone open up, share.
I felt emotional.
It was a good relief sharing it.
I think there's a certain warmth when you use cymatic words like love and appreciation. And those are the kind of words we need to share with each other always. And no negativity. We all have those moments in our life of negativity in the past, but those are learning moments. Share those moments when you want somebody to learn a lesson. Love everything in the future when you want to be closer and bring people closer to you.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what happens when the Creator chooses us. When I say chooses us, he awakens us, right? He gives us, one day we're walking around, we didn't know this is even what we were looking for, and then one day, pop, all of a sudden I have this desire in me, something that needs to be filled. I need to have an answer. I want to know the meaning of my life. I want to do that, whatever, however it pops up in you, okay? Obviously, this desire for something that's above me, that's above this world. In the beginning, what does he do? He gives us a lot of enlightenment from it. We get all this excitement and feelings of, warm, fuzzy feelings and all that. And really what this is an awakening from above. This is the light basically acting in us. There's really very little that we do at that point. It's just, he's giving us the opening to be able to do something. Why am I hearing noises? I'll fix it. There we go. So what happens after a while? You start working, right? You start working on Love of Friends in the group, in the 10. You start working on this process. At which point, like every loving parent, he has to let go of you. He has to let go of the holding hands and helping you along the way. He has to let you evoke something on your own. And this is something that we need to do. We need to now realize that although we were led and brought here, and obviously everything is going to be from the Creator anyway, but our participation is actually in what we call awakening the dawn. We need to somehow create a an awakening from our side. Kabbalists talk about this a lot, and if you think about it, there's a huge gap a lot of times between what our mouth says and what really our heart feels. Have you ever said something and realized, I have to say this in this setting, but that's not really how I feel? I was actually very moved by this, the way you all opened up right now. It sounded very genuine, that everyone really loves each other and realizes how important each other is and all that. And that's a good sign. That's a sign that you're doing the work, that you're getting there. But what happens if I'm not really feeling that yet? What if I came here today and I don't know, I had a tough week. I had all kinds of things happening. I don't know, maybe I'm even having doubts. Maybe I'm having, what we call a burdening of my heart. It's just, I'm not here. I came here and I'm like, I had to drag myself to even sit here in this chair. And I'm sitting here, and it's now my job to participate with you and share my heart and somehow impress you and raise the importance of the goal and all that. What do I do? How can I do this and not harm you and not harm me? The answer that Kabbalists give us is in the form of what we call a game or acting. In Hebrew, the word game and acting is the same word. And you may have heard the concept of that comes from the Bible of the Creator playing with the whale. But we're going to be actually devoting most of our lesson today to this concept of the game. How do I actually overcome states? Because believe it or not, there are times in spiritual advancement where you barely can drag yourself. You can barely talk. You can barely look. You can barely smile. And yet I come to the 10 and I need to do something. I can't drag them down. And we've read the importance of the assembly. We've read all these things about how when you come, you have to raise the spirits and you have to do all those things. How could I come and just drag them all down with me? What kind of mean, horrible thing is that to do to the friends? So we were going to talk about that a little bit today. And hopefully this will be enlightening, because this is really a big part of our work together. Have you ever heard the concept of fake it till you make it? And that's really very close to what we're talking about. I have to come here and I have to create between us a great importance. Why? Because if something's important, I will annul to it and I will work with it and I will subjugate myself to it and I will devote myself to it and make it something that I'm investing in. If something's not important, you get the idea. Obviously, I won't. So let's watch a short clip from Rav here and try to go a little bit deeper in this, okay? Hopefully, I will be able to do this without too much difficulty since I'm on my own here. Let's see. I'm asking once again, can you give an example of what you said before, the principle of the game? The principle of the game says that in anything that I develop in, I make an effort to be more developed, and by that I invite the forces from nature to develop me. Same here. Just like a baby, or like in anything. How do we reveal things in this world? How do we discover the rules and laws? How do we discover how to use them correctly? It's all through our efforts, as we didn't know what will be before. We just go to develop. We want to be like that, just like a child does it. That's how we need to do it. Efforts to be good. By that, we evoke the force of development of ours that is in nature. All right, so this is what happens. My job is constantly raising the importance. Why do I raise the importance, by the way? I have to fool my will to receive. My will to receive needs fuel. It always needs fuel, right? I won't, we remember reading concepts from Baal Salam saying that if I don't have fuel, if I don't perceive that I will get some kind of pleasure or some kind of reward for something, I won't even make the slightest movement. And my nature is the will to receive. How can I possibly make that work to my advantage as I'm supposed to somehow bestow? It's a big issue here. I want to do that. And I don't know if you've heard this concept, but there are 3 things that take a person out of this world. You guys know what they are? What are the 3 things that take a person out of this world?
Bestowal is one of them.
Say again?
How to learn to bestow in true, genuine, and in full force of the actual word.
Okay. I would say bestowal is actually being out of this world, right?
Which world? It takes us out of the physical world or out of the...
Yeah, out of this world.
Oh, death.
Okay. That's kind of harsh.
Hour 10.
Okay, more specifically, what kind of relationship, what things will make me move from here to there?
Annulment?
You'd think, right? When I tell you those 3 things, you'll be like, what? Envy, lust, and honor. Imagine that. Envy, lust, and honor, these despicable characteristics, these qualities that you would think of very negatively. And yet, envy of something great will drive me to do something, to do it. Or lust for something, as well as honor. I respect something. I'm willing to make an effort in that direction. And because of those qualities, if I see someone as great, say I look at, who did we pick on last week? We have to pick on someone else, right? Mike. Look at Mike. Oh, he is so great. I mean, do you know what? He's a giant in Kabbalah. He is like, you know, just to be in his presence. I mean, woof. I would pay money just to, you know, be able to sit in a workshop next to him and just to hear his voice and to do all that, right? I'm a will to receive. I need reward. I need something that'll fill me, right? It turns out that because Mike is great in my eyes, giving to him is considered to me as receiving. Whereas if I were to look at, who's the next one we're picking on? Johnny. Johnny, look at him. He's nothing. He's so little, you know, like a little kid. What could I possibly, you know, hopefully one day he'll grow up and be great, but yeah, he's nothing right now. Giving to him, you should be thanking me for giving him, right? I shouldn't receive, I wouldn't actually go out of my way to give him because he's little. But if Johnny was great, giving to him would be considered to my will to receive as receiving. You get the concept? Giving to something that's important or it's great is like receiving to me. I come to the society, I come to my group, I'm in a bad mood. I'm not feeling anything great. Even though yesterday I thought Mike and Johnny and Tim and James, they were all such great and all that, today, because I'm feeling so crappy, I don't see them as great at all. I'm like, what did I even see in them? Now I can't bestow to them. I can't work with them. I can't advance. I'm basically stopping my whole advancement. But through the concept of game, I can overcome what I'm feeling inside. And because in our world, very different than the spiritual world, because in the spiritual world, whatever actions you have, whatever thoughts you have, whatever talking you're doing, whatever you're doing, that is exactly what you desire, what's in your heart. In this world, we can fake it. I can feel really crappy today, but come and raise and boost the importance and just say it out of my mouth. I walk into the room. I'm saying this as an example, okay, because I love you guys, but imagine that I hate you guys. I think you guys are all nothing. And I come in and I say, I love you guys. You're the most important thing to me. Without you, there is no creator. You guys have given me meaning in life and all that. And I say it with meaning and I do all that. I act it. What happens when I do that? You tell me.
You allow the influence or the environment to influence you.
Yes.
This environment of greatness.
What else?
You start feeling the ego. The ego gets kind of persuaded.
You start to believe it.
It will not have effect in our group. I don't think so.
I think that it's an actually an opportunity to bestow to your group. You can, when it's nothing, you're not getting anything out of it because you're not feeling good about it, but you can give that to them. That's an opportunity to actually do that.
Right. Do you guys see how this is actually an act of above reason? I'm feeling one thing, but I'm doing another. I don't agree with you, but I agree with you. And this is being above reason. This is actually, yes, practicing bestowal. And believe it or not, what happens, it's like, yeah, we're playing in the game of adults, or of bestowal, or of spirituality. And eventually what we're going to do is, by doing this and interacting in such a manner between us, the light will come, the creator will come, and make it real. To the point where you're going to take your lies and realize that they're lies, but present them to the creator, to the light, to make them into truths. Let me read you something. But the friends should primarily speak together about the greatness of the creator, because according to the greatness of the creator that one assumes, to that extent he naturally annuls himself before the creator. It is as we see in nature that the small one annuls before the great one. And this has nothing to do with spirituality. Rather, this conduct applies even among secular people. In other words, the Creator made nature this way. Thus, the friends' discussions of the greatness of the Creator awaken a desire and craving to annul before the Creator, because he begins to feel longing and desire to bond with the Creator. And we should also remember that to the extent that the friends can appreciate the importance and greatness of the Creator, we should still go above reason, meaning that the Creator is higher than any greatness of the Creator that a man can imagine. In doing so, we also create a positive envy. Because guess what? If I always present myself to the group in a way that I'm talking of importance and greatness and praising and the greatness of the friends and love of friends and the goal and the Rav and the books and all of those things, what do you guys get from it? You get importance from it. You start envying me. And you start influencing me in that way as well. You start responding back to me that way. And what ends up happening is we create a force field of bestowal. Thus, this so-called false game is actually creating importance. It's actually drawing light, and it raises it in you. In fact, you will start noticing that when you overcome your whatever state you're in, whether it's good or bad, and still bring the importance to the group, and still do what your job is to do in the group, as you're uttering the words out of your mouth, you yourself will be influenced by it. I've seen this 1,000 times where I come to a lesson and I'm trying to instruct something, and I'm really dragging. I've had a rough internal day, or something inside of me is just off. But the second I realize how important it is for me to convey to you importance and to do that, immediately any concern I had before completely dissipates. The way this game works is that first I play towards the friends the next degree of the 10 that I would like to be. What does this mean? I'm not yet in degree number 1. I'm not yet in a state of importance. I'm not yet in the next state of our 10. But when I'm talking to the 10, I talk from that place, from the place of our better connection than it is today. Mm-hmm. Then the friends are impressed by it, according to that new degree that I present to them. And then I'm impressed by the environment which relates it back to me. So here's a question for you. Why is the game so important specifically for spirituality? And even more important, how is it connecting to the reform? How is it connected to the reforming light? Meaning, how is the game's connection to the means of drawing the correcting light? Does that make sense? I'll say it again. It didn't come out good out of my mouth. How is the game between us related to drawing the reforming light? And you have a few minutes. Try to talk briefly, on topic, add to each other. Make sure you keep a nice flow between you. Create this feeling like it's one answer from all of you together. Not that one of you is lecturing to the others and the others have to, listen to your wisdom, but that we create this answer between us. Then we might actually do it great. Even though I think that I have the full answer on my own and I think I could give it to you and I could probably just give it to you, then what's the point here? We're already in this game. Let's play it properly, okay? So how is this game detrimental or so important for spirituality and specifically for drawing the reforming light? Ready? And I'm sending you in there.
This reforming light, or more specifically, this game between us, as I see it, or it's not so much a game. I separate myself, my thoughts, where I'm getting them from. I believe they're coming from the group, and I believe that now, because of that, the things I do, questions I ask, participation I make is for the group. And in that, I draw in reforming light when I make that outward grab for some other reason for why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Next.
Exactly, Merrill, and as we try to be like the creator in a level that we don't understand, but we're making that effort, even though it would be easier to and more desirable to us to just stay where we're at and fulfill ourselves in whatever way we could, is showing the creator that we are choosing him.
Yeah, Mike, the key word you said there to me was effort. You know, when we're not there, especially, is when we have the biggest chance of drawing the most reforming light. And we just demonstrate to the creator and the friends how important it is to us, whether we feel it or not.
Yeah, by annulling our egos in relationship to the friends, and rising above in love, and all these things that we do to play this game, to see each other great, while focusing on the text of the sages and the lessons and the tasks that are given to us, all draw the reforming light together.
The question you guys started this class with was, why is it so hard? And it's hard because it's not natural. And by playing the game, we can draw that light, and we can, hopefully, with the group, make it more natural.
Yeah, I've heard you guys so far say, I talk about effort, annulment, and natural. And the next word in line from those, to me, seems to be change. How else do we change but through things that seem unnatural, that take effort, and annulling myself?
Yeah, that's an excellent analogy. I think the game is another way for us to push onto each other and then be pushed back by one another. And through that tug of war, we find the similar things in us and those things that are not so similar, and learn to overcome those things not so similar and create a better love between us, realizing our faults and our attributes that are what we like and the things that we need to correct in ourselves as well. Next.
Friends, and I'm just imagining this, like you've dropped this crystal glass on the floor, and that's the shattering. And now we've got to put this glass, this crystal glass, all together, and it like goes all together, and then you can't even see a crack. Now this is really what we're doing here, and damn, it's a difficult, big job, because it is your only way out of this world into the upper worlds. So we've got a big challenge to do here, whether we hate it or we love it or we fake it, or all this type of stuff that our head is telling us and our heart is really not connected to it. Connect the heart, the mind, reason, faith. We've got work to do.
Yes, and I think other key word for this game is the word of addition of the sum. We are making a little addition one-on-one with our participation, and this addition you are making a big mass every time greater. And when the mass is bigger, the force of attraction is incremental, And the force of attraction, in the way the mass grows, the force of attraction to the reforming light is bigger. I think the addition of each participant is making a big mass.
Let's remember what this game really is. You know, we're each trying to do the same thing. We're trying to look at each one of us as being greater than ourselves, and certainly all of us together greater than ourselves. Constantly, each at the same time, remember, we're all doing the same thing. So we're forming a space where nobody gets to take the middle between us. This is a space that this light can come into. The thing we're attracting is coming from each one of us and being put in the center of the space we've created, right?
Yeah, and in that space, with the addition of these efforts, we are I guess I don't have anything to add here other than that we're building love, and as we love, then that light will change us.
Yeah, Mike, we kind of talked about it a little bit last week too. Albert was telling us the easiest way to come out of a descent is by just plugging yourself right into the group, and it pulls you right out. So when you're playing the game and you come with maybe you don't feel like it, but just showing up. I've even heard Raj say he likes it when guys show up, even if they sleep during the morning lesson. At least they're there. So I guess that's a way to play the game also.
Definitely, your regularity of meeting is a big part of the game. Apparently, it's like a putting something in a bucket with a hole in it. If you don't do it every day, the bucket remains empty. But if you do it every day, it fills up with our love and our connection.
Okay, we're going to read a little bit more here. But what can one do when he feels that he is in a state of sadness, both in terms of the corporeal state and in the spiritual state? And the time when he must go to the society has come. And yet our sages said, a worry in a man's heart, let him speak of it with others. In other words, he should tell his friends, perhaps they might be able to offer some help. But if this is so, why do we say that everyone should bring high spirits into the society while he has none? And moreover, there is a rule that one cannot give that which one does not have. Thus, what should he do to give something to the society that will give high spirits to the society? Indeed, there is no other way but for man to walk on the right line. Thus, before he goes to the love of friends, he should read Bala Sulam's essay from 1943, where he clarifies what is the right line. That this is the meaning of above reason. And he should draw strength from there so that when he comes to the society, each and every one will more or less be able to infuse a spirit of life. And by that, the whole of society will feel joy and greater confidence. What does it mean to constantly go on the right line? That means to constantly be influencing importance into the group. Never fall to anything else. So let me ask you this question. How do we once and for all stop paying attention to the states that we're going through? Up, down, and all that, and work above our ego? How do we stop paying attention once and for all to our states, whether they're high or low or whatever they are, and go above our ego? Let's go right into workshop on that.
I think the only way you can go above your ego is through the group. It's through the group, and praying for the reforming light for the friends. That I don't know if we can do it another way. Either.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, my states are because let's face it, it's because I'm thinking of myself. I'm so wrapped up in myself. Oh, I feel great, or I feel horrible. I. If I can just, release the, hey, you know what? I'm not here for me. I'm here for these people. Be surprised how that state might just go away. Oh, I'm sorry. Who is it?
James?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, the pushing and pulling of each other, we're raising each other out of these states of dissent. We're, through our own actions, trying to raise ourselves egoistically, but also nullifying ourselves altruistically. We're got a rope, and we're offering that rope to each other to raise each other above these mundane and corporeal concerns to get us to a higher place. And each and every one of you is hanging on to my cord, and I've got the pylon set, holding so you can pass me up, like climbing a mountain. So as long as we keep doing that for each other and have that mutual guarantee that I'm here for you, doesn't matter about me, I'm here for you, proceed, everything will be hunky-dory. Next.
Raising the importance of the goal and the game and why we actually, irrespective of all those internal conflicts. So I say complete focus and aim, and just like what the beast is telling you and wanting to do, you just keep pushing.
I think it's like when you go inside to your house, you come from a heavy rain outside, you put your raincoat in the closet. We need to put the big eye in the closet, put the big eye out of us and work with the big W of we. Be aware to not use the big I anymore. We need to use the big W of we.
Okay, guys, we've all come here because we've decided we're in spirituality. This is something above our grasp and something we want to attain right now, all between us. The states that we're in really have only one thing to do at this point, to teach us that there's none else beside him, that he's good that does good. This state we've come to is a good state. And all we see from now on is that it's not that this is a bad state. What's good is good and stays good. But yet we see the next level above us as being better yet. And this is also called a descent. This is the descent that the state we're in now is inferior to the one we could get to next. Next.
Absolutely, Meryl, and that's the thing. The states that we go through, good and bad feelings, those aren't ascents and descents. Those are just our states, our ego telling us this feels good or not. But if we can connect and whether we feel good or not, annulled to the friends, then it can be an exciting adventure together all throughout the whole thing. And that's and because we're getting closer to the creator, closer to the goal, and it's every second it gets more important as we do it. That's just it's exponential.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, we like Meryl said, we got to get to a place where we believe that he's the good that does good, and then accept mutual guarantee for one another. I think once we can think about the friends only, there's no need to think about your own states.
And I do think the question did include states having to do with ascents and descents as well as our personal states. But regardless of that, it's the judging that Merle was mentioning, not judging the states and just keep on keeping on.
It's when you said about the accepting the mutual guarantee among us, believing in the goal, believing in what we're trying to attain. In our lives, we can think something, we can be so focused on a thing, and a simple phone call, because whatever that phone call is about could be more important. You forget all about this thing that's so important to you, because now this is the new thing that's so important to you. But can we make attaining the goal the most important thing?
Yeah, and I like that you use that word guarantee, because that's, if I've made a guarantee, I have to come through, regardless of how I feel. I mean, you ever sold a car and I guarantee this car will work, and it doesn't. You feel bad because you got to take this car back, but it's a guarantee, and that's what we got to do. We've guaranteed. So forget about me. I made a guarantee.
We're the ones that are striving to become none else besides us, and the good that does good is good. We are the ones that are striving to become that adhesion to the Creator. So as long as we support each other wholeheartedly, unequivocally, unconditionally, we're all raising each other to the point that above reason even will pass away, and we will all be doing good because we are good, and that is good. And it will create an altruistic snowball, and even if it's only amongst us, we will all get to the point where we have risen to wuthering heights as it goes. Next.
We've come upon this path, and how, let's remind us, what did it feel like when we were here in the beginning, and why we actually came to this path? What is it really? Is it this internality of an attraction of sorts that we just don't know how to explain? Each time that we remind ourselves, we keep dragging ourselves here in this type of environment and with the friends, and keep asking why.
Yes, and it's very difficult to go out of our states. Let's try for one day to change the word I to we, and the word my to our. You want to see the difficulty of the change? Well, what a difficult is to stop thinking about one and to start thinking as a whole.
In order to be in these higher states of spirituality, one of the first things we have to say is this is done in a group, not individually. There is no spirituality unless it comes with the guarantee that David wants and the ones that Brian's going to give. We all do this together, or none of us. It will happen for none of us at all. This is a whole thing. We have to stay whole in one piece, and as one piece, we rise together. Until we're together, none of us, because we've made that commitment to each other to do it together. Mike?
Exactly, Marilyn. As you're saying that, to me, the thought that's coming is the covenant. The covenant we make that when, even when we're not feeling the vitality of this work, that we'll be here and we'll raise the importance of the goal to each other, and that we can count on each other to do that.
Yeah, it's prioritizing this too. As we get advanced more and more along this path, it does become more and more important. I can think about when I first started this and where I'm at now, and how much time I now allot for this, where if you would have asked me, are you going to spend this amount of time pursuing this goal, when I first started it, there would be no way. And I think we're we're all at that point. So it'll be interesting where we're at in a year from now, how much time and effort we dedicate to it, because I see it with everybody in this group that everyone's pushing extremely hard.
Yeah, you are. And you know what? Even when you are in a low state and you can barely talk and you come in, that is a great effort. So the person in the lowest state may be actually lifting the group through just making the effort to be here. And we can all see that as great. And immediately you're lifted.
Yeah, like that point that you made about, the effort that you said you're going to show when you first joined, and then the effort that you're showing today, and where we'll be in a year, and how it's all through the friends lifting each other. It's all through the friends, and maybe it goes back to that envy, lust, honor, as Zohar was talking about earlier. We envy the friend. Look how much time he's putting in. We lust for their kind of desire, and we so honor the friends doing the work.
How'd that go? Questions? You just want to keep working on love between you, right? I won't bother you. Interesting what's going on here. I'm actually very impressed to see you guys. You're doing phenomenally. And looking at you, it doesn't even seem like you're faking it. It looks like you're really in. And of course, probably because you're really in it, right? But you get the concept when you feel like a rag, when you feel like you have nothing to give, but you still have to give, how important that is, what it means to constantly be working on the right line, because you won't always feel this way. Think about it. Today you're here. When we get to our gathering together, you're together with the friends. There's this influence. The light is bathing us. We're in the right mode. We kind of have this guidance from the source. We're all in this perfect place. It's not so easy to do so when we're not here together. When we're not sitting in this environment and we're having this influence of the environment upon us. So we need to constantly create this. And believe it or not, one cannot give importance of spirituality to himself. It doesn't work that way. I can't somehow convince myself that spirituality is important. I need you for that. And vice versa. It has to work that way. I have to have friends and I have to be able to work together and to do this. I want to show you another clip from Rav. I think that's very important and very pertinent to this. Is to judge a friend to the scale of merit. That has to happen first. That's one. The second thing we have to do is the first thing we need to do is to judge a friend to the scale of merit. That has to happen first. That's one. The second thing we have to do is to keep the condition of arvut, of mutual guarantee, each showing the other how he's in upliftment effectively, not real, not true, even if it's false, because by that I keep my obligation to awaken the friend, and the friend in return awakens me. And against our external expression, there's not much we can do. We're impressed by it. That's why it's very important. Do not disregard this. The condition remains. It works in such a way. Oh, we have a workshop. Maybe I will ask. Each of us must show the others an awakening. Where is it written? Also in the first articles of Rabash, where I should not humble myself and hide and as if I'm acting in humbleness, but rather the fact that I am burning to come to bestowal, to love. I have to advertise it to all the friends. By that, I awaken them and they awaken me. Without that, the society will not be able to exist. That's why every day we need to check this. To truly check, there needs to be a person. Even now, during the lesson, who should we say, who will be here that is suitable for this? The most burning of all. Whereas Gosha or Grisha, someone like that, yes? In short, write down how much each of the friends, make a list, and every single one, how he appears on the outside, how much he externally gives upliftment and awakening to others. So we're constantly acting, performing, being in the state of the next degree that we're supposed to be in. Even though I don't know what it is, I'm not in that state yet, but I'm always performing to the group, to my 10, the next state that we should be in. Corrected state of where we are now. Always. And between us, it's like Kabbalist once gave this this example. I can't remember if it was Rav or Rabash gave this example. It's like we're building a sand castle, okay? And we build it between us. We build this sand castle, and then once we build it, because we want it so badly, the light comes and makes out of it a real castle. That's what happens. We're playing, and the light adds to it the truth. Takes the lie and makes it into a truth. Even though it's, playing, a corrected state doesn't sound like a lie, but it's what we call lorishma. It's not quite there yet. I'm giving something that I don't really have yet. So if that's the case, how do I come to my 10? And let's just do this exercise. Let's do it this way. Tell your 10 about our next state, the next degree in our 10. Share it. Talk from a place that we're already there. Okay? You got the question? Talk to your 10 and tell them what is that next step, that next degree of connection between us. Remember, keep it short. Make room for others to add. If you don't participate in a workshop by not adding something, you're robbing something of the 10. If you participate lengthily and you go on and off and that, you're also robbing from the 10. Our job is to integrate, to somehow incorporate in a way that we become one. That's what we wanted to create. And the best place for us to do this game, to work on this connection between us and really be that, is in the workshop. So sometimes we need to even artificially create this habit of how we're going to interact in the 10, in the workshop. Why? Because creating a habit will make it second nature. Then as the right words come out of our mouths and we start really putting our hearts into it, we'll also add the quality to it as well. But at least work on that. But I have a lot to say. That's not the time to do it. This is not where we didn't come here to blabber on for an hour. You don't want to hear me talking. You want to create, this oneness between us, to become one, to make a vessel for the Creator to be revealed. So that's how you do it. Okay, so talk to the 10, just discuss our next state, our next degree of connection in the 10. And go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I've spent a lot of time over in the North America Zoom and out in Los Angeles with the physical group. But this group right here, the way you guys connect, the work that you're doing, you know, beyond today, this is amazing. You guys are moving as one body. And I'm not acting. I'm just. You guys are impressing the hell out of me. Excuse my language, but you guys do not seem new. Who is it?
Is it me?
It's you, James.
You're muted, James.
I double clicked. Okay. The more we work on it, the more we expose ourselves to each other in love and sharing our light and manifest what we want in life through all of the others around us, seeing them at a higher state. We're actually in that law of attraction that they speak so much about. We're having all these people near us that we want to reach them to reach a certain goal, and we're doing our best to manifest that goal for them. Therein, raising ourselves as well is the bottom line of it. And then it's the tug of war. Get to know each other, help each other, push, pull, sink, swim. We're all in it together, and we're all going to rise. Next.
In the next state, that heaviness, that amount of effort will dissipate. We'll all be flowing in such unison or in such oneness that we will feel that what blissfulness and what peace and love and bestowal really is. That's the next state we want to aspire to and have and be lust and honor for.
The next state, I think the next state is when we are really as one, a whole body and a whole soul, and that each one knows the other so well that even before the others talk, I know at least what he's gonna say. To know it like the palm of the hand, everybody, and to work in a single union soul.
Oh, our next state is really good, actually. I mean, look at where we are right now. We're connecting, we're forming a 10. We're trying to get all our people coming and participating as much as we can do it so we can get some power. But our next level is when we're sitting like one of these guys that go to Rob's morning meetings and stuff. That is our next level that we can see right above us. Remember, we can only go one step above. Our next step is to be a together unit that's acting like a partsuf with 10 moving parts that connect at least to the rod. That's our next state.
Yes, Marilyn, as we're connected and being one, as Leonardo said, we will get the first sight, the first feeling, inkling of the perfection of creation and the creator.
Yes, Mike. I think it's between us a synchronicity where it's just maybe David, it gets back to a monologue then at that point, because we'll all be talking to ourselves, and then we can see what the creator actually has planned for us.
Yeah, our next state right now, right here, can happen. And it's not 9 people each giving their individual answers. And I would like to start a sentence and nobody finish it. Each one add to that sentence in one continuous sentence. Be ready with your mics and let's become one. right now. So here's the sentence. Our next state is a beautiful connection and merging with the friends because
We stop paying attention to our other states and we only pay attention to the connection of the group.
Which is a state that we are already in. This group state, this group right here is already in that. And we've done that by
sharing amongst ourselves, supporting each other, helping each other to grow, and letting everybody know we love each other, and knowing that we are loved in return.
And then poof, the creator disappears completely.
And to keep pushing each of one to be greater.
Yeah, when we see each other as great, we know that they're giving us our good ideas at the moment. Like,
and that it's all coming from the Creator because He sees our great desire together to do this.
And it flows through us back to our friends.
who are anxiously waiting for every word out of our mouths and not thinking of what they want to say.
Very good. A few points I wanted to raise for you. One, we're constantly playing this awakening between us. We're constantly working on this connection between us, on this love of friends between us, trying to become one. You guys are maturing rapidly beyond belief. I mean, it's like what's happening is truly special. And what ends up happening is that not only does your intensity start working stronger between you, the quality starts working stronger between you. We start taking these steps into higher and higher levels. We have to also be very cautious. We all carry with us a history. We all carry with us habits. We all carry with us customs and ways of still doing things that, you know what, at certain stages, it was no big deal. But we're getting to a point where we need to really, really clean up our act and make it so perfect and so precise. Little things like this, like working on constant awakening, constant working on the right line. You realize that all it takes is one little glitch and we could be moving back tremendously. So just a few things that I was thinking about sharing with you. A big part of what we're doing is creating a perfect environment between us. An environment in which our point in the heart can grow, can be cultivated, nurtured, watered, and grow, and simply, flourish. We do this through working between us in a very specific way. You go and consult with other consultants, with other people that are not BB or something like that. And by the way, we never discuss all those things. Why? Because there's different approaches. There are different people who might give us completely different ways of looking at things. And the worst of them all are those who seem so similar. Who do you not hear saying, love your friend as yourself? What religion, what faith, what method, what in the world does not say that? So automatically I should assume that anyone who says that is fair game for our society, for our group, for our 10. And yet it is so far from true. And I'll tell you why. And I think we had this discussion a few weeks ago, but just to be certain that we really get this point through. We should not be worried about talking to people about something that has nothing to do with Kabbalah or spirituality. the chance of it tainting our purity between us is, not even close. You're a carpenter and you're talking to someone about eating fish. How is that going to affect the purity of your craftsmanship? It won't. But if you start talking to carpenters who do things slightly different, and you start bringing that in a different way, in a different approach, what ends up happening is that you are losing that congealed, unified, core that we're trying to create between us, that thing we call the center of the circle. It's very important that not only here in the lesson, but throughout the week, when you're participating with each other, when you're working on the 10, when you're doing your workshops alone, when you're doing your communications, whether it's through text or messaging or WhatsApp or GroupMe or whatever you're using, stick to the source material that BB gives you. If you even deviate one little bit, you may have the perfect intentions in this. But you know what they say about good intentions, right? It paves the path to hell. It truly does. And I know that sounds like a harsh way of saying things, and it seems like isolating yourself from anything else. This is how this method works. You concentrate together on one goal. You start bringing in other things into it, you're going to miss big time. Everyone here, I'm sure, has lived before they came to Kabbalah. I'm sure each one of us has been, touched on different methods, different religions, different readings, different things, and maybe a lot of things that seem very similar and have parallels and have ways of doing that. We follow the advice of Kabbalists. Why? Because we want to reach the thing that they're trying to pave for us. Kabbalists gave us guidance of how to reach a state of attainment, how to reach the end of correction, how to bring contentment to the Creator and reach that state of being an equivalence of form. The second I bring something else into it, I'm adding my so-called intelligence, my so-called, smarts, my point of view, and we are not Kabbalists. We are aspiring Kabbalists. We are people who want to prepare the Kli perfectly for that to happen. We want to annul ourselves to doing this work above reason, even though I may have a different idea of how to do it. I may have a different way to explain it. I may have a different way to add some other richness. There are other sources. There's other writers. There's other, hopefully you get the idea. Keep those out of the 10. Keep those out of the access to there, and don't discuss those things within you. In any other society with other people and all that, do whatever you want. But if you're working on a 10, you have a responsibility for that 10. You have a responsibility to keep it pure, to keep that in there. The few words I said to you before about workshopping and just not going on and on and on, keep it that way. It's really important. If every time there's a workshop, you go and there's someone who's either talking too much or not enough or is not paying attention, it's felt. Until you get that perfect circle, and I'm not talking about techniques of how what connecting word you should use or not. I'm talking about simply doing what the advice of the Kabbalists is, which is try to create that one man and one heart between you. That's what you need to create between you. A couple of other little things. I'll send you soon, maybe today or tomorrow, I'll send you some assignments, things that you can do throughout the week. But you should know how time flies when you're having fun and you're really doing serious work. I don't know if you noticed this, but it was 3 months ago when I came into your EC class and said, hey, come and join the young group. 3 months. This is lesson 11 of the young group already. So time has been going by. We've been doing a lot of really important work, and the way things go, next week will be the last lesson of this semester. Lesson 12 is the end of Young Group 1 of the, what we call the third semester in other places. Right after that, without a break, without any time off, we move into what we call the fourth semester, the last semester of the Young Group. Another, good 3 months of work between us. We're going to be diving into other layers of things. We're going to start talking about how we're taking this unity we created between us and start incorporating the concept called dissemination. A key element. I mean, something that without which we don't even have a right to exist. We're going to be, working on deeper principles, working on practical things. And I think if you start looking at yourself and try to think who you were 3 months ago, where you didn't even know that a 10 is something in existence, or that we workshop, or that we do all those things, and look where you are today. I mean, I'm just, my jaws drop when I'm hearing you guys. You're amazing. This week, the team will send you out messages, emails, and all that for you to sign up, register for the fourth semester. I do urge you to do it. There's no coercion in spirituality, like always. No one has to do anything you don't want to do. But it is the path to advancement. So I would really love to see everyone continue here. And encourage your friends who are missing classes that this is a special environment. If you want to advance, this is something that you have to do. One more thing, you may have noticed that the moderators are stepping back a little bit. You're getting to a point where a moderator, bringing someone who has done workshops before you and can help you moderate this thing, is not really something you need at this point. You need to start doing it for yourself. And so the way you do this is very simple. By the way, I can tell you that when I met with the moderators last week, the reason they're coming here is because they've fallen in love with you. They can't not be around you. They want to be with you, and they want to incorporate with you. And it has nothing to do with, this is a role that I have to do here, and I was hired to do this job. It has nothing to do with that. They just want to be here with you. And so at this point, they're not going to be guiding anything in the circles. They're not going to be calling out names or anything like that. You guys, when you start a workshop, you take care of it. I don't know if it's the men, and you guys decide, who's going to take it this time? Johnny? Okay, Johnny. He'll set up the moderation for that workshop. Who's going to do it with the women? Linda? Okay, Linda, you're up. Carlota? Okay, you're up. And basically do it that way. You realize that it's not brain science. It's just a matter of keeping the flow in the circle. Just making sure that it's smooth and there's a quick reminder. No one's trying to be an instructor or a teacher or something like that. It's just about making sure that we remember how to conduct a circle. That's all it takes. And so those are the key elements I wanted to talk about. Questions, comments, suggestions? You're all full to the rim. Amazing.
Be the light you want to see in others, and see the light you want to be.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, friends. It was, as always, very enlightening. I love you dearly.
Thank you, Zohar. Thank you, everybody.
Love you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot something. I knew I forgot something. All right. Here's your last chance, okay? But do it short this time. You remember? What did we do in the beginning of the lesson? Told each other how much we love each other and how much important we are, right? Now with the addition of what you've learned today, with what you have right now, with you know what? Quick round. Tell everyone how much you love them and how much you care for them and why they're so important. Mike.
You're everything. You're perfect. You're everything. I love you so much.
Emuna.
Oh, wow. You're my soul.
Johnny.
to the creators right here.
Merle.
The work we've done today is all good, and it will stay good as we climb this ladder.
Brian.
You gave me a good avenue for my envy, lust, and honor.
Linda.
I love you all for helping me in the path to the Creator.
Adam. Kalima.
I love you all because together we all make the one.
iPhone Cora.
Hello.
Yeah.
You are my connection to the Creator.
Carlotta.
I love you because we are all reaching our same goal higher and higher to the Creator. Love you.
James.
I love you all so very much. You're all I love, and all I have is to give you love. So you don't need to love me back because I got enough love for all of you. 10 score.
Tim.
Again, I love everyone for helping increase the importance within me.
David.
You know, the love that each one of you men and women have for the Creator and for each other is pulling me along, and I love you for that, and I'm going to cry.
Leonardo.
I love you because you are a big and essential part of our one soul.
Sarah.
I love you because we have advanced together.
Carol.
I love you because you're my only hope of getting out of my ego and be towards the Creator.
I love you. You are everything, friends. Thank you.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. L'chaim.
L'chaim, guys. Love you.
Bye, friends. Love and light, everybody.
How your friends show you who are